Kings rallied to beat Ducks a knot, extending their strong start. Anaheim. The Kings thought they had taken the lead in the third period. They felt that way again a few minutes later, and then they were sure this wild, wacky edition of the freeway fashion off with the Ducks was won in overtime. Nick Shore fired in a one-time shot past goalie Ryan Miller on an odd-man rush in overtime, and the Kings maintained their winning ways with a 4-3 comeback victory over the Ducks on Tuesday night at Honda Center. Jared Boll, Sami Vatanen and Rickard Rakell scored goals for the Ducks, 6-6-3, who squandered two separate two-goal leads. Jens Kopitar, Adrian Kemp and Dustin Brown scored in regulation for the Kings, 11-2, who have avoided back-to-back losses during their strong start over the season's first few weeks. It was Brown who set up Shore for the decisive shot, and it was the 33-year-old winger who pulled the Kings into a 3-3 tie at 5:49 of the third with a power play redirect past Ducks goalie John Gibson, who started the wild and entertaining contest. "There's really no quit in here," Kopitar said, "definitely not feeling sorry for ourselves. We get down 2 goals early, but it seemed like there was sense of calmness on the bench. Nobody panicked. Nobody was running around like a maniac. We just kept our cool, kept our composure and just kind of started plugging away. We got a couple late goals in periods just to keep us in there. And then the third period, we took over." Before Shore ended it at 3:51 of the extra period, the Kings thought they had finally grabbed the lead. Twice, Brown thought he had his second goal in a matter of minutes as he ripped a shot past Gibson off a great setup from Drew Doughty. But the Ducks caught Doughty creeping over the Anaheim blue line as the Kings entered the zone and immediately called for a challenge that the defenseman was offside. The challenge proved successful. The Ducks survived their next close call when Brooks Laich had seemed to put in a rebound to snap the tie. Gibson's helmet had popped off on the initial shot and seemed to get clipped by a wayward stick, nullifying the potential score. And the goalie then was called into concussion protocol, with Miller suddenly summoned into action and coming in cold. The Kings ended up with back-to-back advantages courtesy of penalties by Ducks defenders Kevin Bieksa and Josh Manson to end regulation but couldn't put them away, until Shore beat Miller after the backup had stoned Tyler Toffoli with a terrific point-blank save right before overtime. "We all have to be ready to contribute, and that's kind of the mindset I was trying to take," Miller said. "Kind of the mindset I put myself in for any time I back up. If you get in there, you got to represent the guys and do the best you can. Happy to get a point. A little frustrated to not get that extra one because I thought we played a really strong game early. Would have been nice to cap it off." Addressing the latest of his team's never-ending spell of injuries with the news of Ryan Getzlaf being out for possibly 2 months, Ducks general manager Bob Murray expressed some satisfaction with his team's record under the circumstances. "Beyond the record is a different story. Murray is irritated with the high number of scoring chances the Ducks allow. Perhaps more important, it's the absence of emotion that's got him bothered. We're hanging in there," Murray said, talking in the concourse of his home arena. "It's more about how we're playing. We can improve how we are playing with this lineup. If everybody buys in and we get some contributions from a few more people, we can do a little bit better in my opinion. We've had some games where there's been no emotion, which that shouldn't happen right now. That shouldn't happen this early in the year, especially with being banged up. There should not be a lack of emotion." It is as if the Ducks heard Murray's admonishment from the ice surface and took it to heart hours later. There was plenty of emotion from the opening puck drop and the Kings were the ideal opponent to bring it out. Some of it boiled over in the second period. Corey Perry, who has long been a nuisance around NHL nets, had a running battle with equally feisty Kings goalie Jonathan Quick. The two didn't hold back nearly 6 minutes in, throwing jabs at each other with offsetting roughing penalties as the final result. They mixed it up again after the Kings killed off an Andy Androffer retaliatory roughing penalty following a hit from the Ducks' Chris Wagner. Quick jabbed at Perry's backside, but the winger stayed in front and battled for space with Kings defenseman Oscar Fantenberg as the Ducks had possession of the puck. It might have been enough to throw Quick off a bit. Rakell got the puck beyond the right circle and rifled a shot that took a favorable angle up off the stick of Kings rookie Alex Iafallo and went over the goalie's shoulder, popping.